welcome back to Games of Hayden. I'm Hayden, and again, here's my special guest. It's my dad. Now you have permission to make fun of his bald head.
Whatever, dude. Who's bald?
You are 6.
Whatever, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, welcome back. Like Hayden said, hey, we've been doing a series. This is part 3 in a 3-part series, so this is the end. But it was entitled, How to Buy a Board Game. Who would have thought you need a 3-part series to know how to buy a board game? Well, I'm kind of a geek, and so we've come to part 3, and you might make fun of me for this part, but I think it's pretty important. So what we've done, if you followed this series, is 1, we've done our research, right, Hayden?
Yep.
We've gone to the Board Game Geek. What else have we done?
Go to the Howls and stuff.
Yeah, we watched other reviews of games, and we picked out the perfect game. We then got in the car and traveled to our friendly local game shop. And we bought a game, right? You'd think that'd be it, but no, that's not it. Here's where my OCD comes out. But, you know, there's nothing, maybe there are things worse than this, but it's kind of a bummer when your family gets together and you're like, hey, let's play a board game. And, you know, you guys decide on a game, and heaven forbid you pick Monopoly. But let's say you do pick Monopoly, and you open up the box, and
the pieces are missing, some of them.
Oh, that's just horrible. I hate it. You know, like the golden thimble is gone, or the top hat. Monopoly is no longer the same. How can you play Monopoly without the golden top hat? That's just unfortunate. And so what we do, what me and Hayden do, when we buy a board game, what do we do, Hayden?
So when Dad buys a board game of cards, he actually puts card sleeves on them, and that's pretty much what he does with his card and stuff.
Yeah, so we spend a little bit of time of trying to protect our game. And so what we want to do right now is give you some tips on how you can avoid losing the pieces to your games and or breaking them. So let's take a closer look on what we do here at Games with Hayden. Okay, so as you can see, here are a couple of our games. And I'm just going to open them up and show you what we do to kind of preserve these games. Okay, so let's take this one for example. If you were to open it up, inside you'll notice that there are lots of parts in here. But first thing you see is you see cards. We have cards all over the place, right? And these cards are actually in little sleeve cases. And the only reason we do this is because usually we'll play this. This is a party game. And we'll play this at a table, and usually we have, you know, like soda and all kinds of drinks around the table, and we don't want them to get all screwed up. And it's really not that expensive to do this to your cards. Hayden, like show them what it looks like. Because
they're only $3 for 50 card sleeves.
Yeah, so you can pick these up all over at any game store or card store even. Like a collector's game, like sports card store or anything like that, they'll sell these.
Yeah.
You can actually even get these at Fred Meyer's.
Yeah.
So they're really cheap. But one quick note is that a lot of these games, designer games at least, a lot of the really good games, some of them come from out of the country, and the card sizes are not quite the same as your normal cards. So
yeah.
Sometimes if you take this serious and you want to protect your game,
yeah.
You'll have to custom order some. And there's a company online called Mayday Games. That's www.maydaygames and .com, and they have special sized card sleeves for you. Also, you'll see here there are just a ton of pieces. And what we did is we went to Storables and we bought this for $2. Yeah. And if you can imagine, this box without something like this would easily lose these pieces when we play. So that just simply by spending about $4 extra for this $50 game, I think it'll last a lot longer and we won't lose pieces. So that's one example.
Yeah.
Here's another example. This is one of Hayden's all-time favorites.
Yeah, Pandemic.
Yeah, Pandemic. And this game, what we've done is, as you can see, it's got a lot of pieces too. We have cards. We put them in little plastic sleeves.
Yeah.
These you can get at card stores. And then we've also got these little artsy containers.
Yeah.
And these are another thing from Storables that you can easily pick up for really cheap. And that's just something
But they don't come with the stickers. My dad made the stickers.
Yeah. And then here's one more example, and I'll stop bugging you guys with this, but this is probably my favorite game because it's so easy and simple to use, but there's tons of pieces involved in this game. Those of you guys who know Ticket to Ride, there's like 40 trains for each person.
So you gotta put them in little containers.
Yeah, and so what we did is we went to Storables, and I don't know, what's that say on there? 95 cents, okay? And what this is a travel... So a soap container for a bar of soap. But what it does is instead of having these trains everywhere, you can just set these in front of you and people can play their pieces in it. So that's a way to keep little pieces from getting all over the place.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
And that's one of our biggest our biggest thing is trying to keep pieces from disappearing.
Yeah.
So those are a few ways on how you can protect your game. But you know, one of the major bummer parts about games is that the boxes break, and then what do? Just put them in a Ziploc bag? That's kind of lame. But here's what I found out. You know, when you're gaming with little people, with little men like Hayden, usually you're on the floor, because usually they need to be in a high chair, and sometimes they just don't dig doing high chair. So a lot of times you're on the floor, and we forget to put the box. We forget to put the box up high, and this is what usually ends up happening. You know what I'm talking about? How many of you guys have board game boxes that look like that? You know what I'm talking about? You open up your game closet and your boxes just kind of fall apart, and then it doesn't take much time before you end up losing pieces. So what we have done here is we make sure that we always put our boxes up high, and then when we store them, we don't store them the stacks too high so the boxes get crushed, because that's just, you know, it ends up being not good. So that's a great way that you can protect your games. And I don't know, I think that's pretty much all our tips. What do you think, Hayden?
Yeah, and if you want to check us out, you can check us out at www.gameshayden.com. Till next time, I'm Hayden Teeter.
Thank you guys.